If this video reached you, then, some way or another, we are on the same frequency regarding this message, so you need to hear this. You don't need to watch any manifestation videos anymore. You already know the answers. If there are some things that I would suggest, they will be this. It's knowing the key points or the bullet points behind conscious creation and behind being intentional with your life, and just go about your day. Do the things that your intuition is telling you to do. And these things are pretty simple. Sometimes all it takes is reading one book. That's literally it. Some people change their lives by reading one book. Why? Because they read it and they absorb it and they read it again and implement the techniques, or not the techniques, the principles behind it. Some people read the book The Kabbalion, the Hermetic Principles, the 7 Hermetic Principles. These 7 Hermetic Principles were taught in every single doctrine and religion with different names, because these were taught by Hermes Trismegistus, for example, or Thoth, or Tahuti, or Idris. They are all the same. So what is actually hindering you back? It is you. The analysis paralysis. I need to know this technique, that technique, this technique, that technique. I need to know more about the law of assumption, law of attraction, about the Hermetic Principles. You can know about all these things, but knowing is something and being is something else. Knowing about something is different from immersing yourself in the act of doing that. For example, this book right here, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself by Dr. Joe Dispenza. We're going to talk a little bit about that. This is one of those books that if you can just wrap your mind around it, everything will change. You will know why every time you try to change, you feel uncomfortable. You feel like everything is against you. You feel like everything is just going in the opposite direction in the beginning. He told you here in this book that this is something normal because you are literally unwiring old belief systems that you are not even conscious of. All of this is unconscious programming, and you are installing a new program. And this is why this book is so good. When you are getting the idea that things like mental rehearsal, the athletes do that, by the way. There are constitutions that are built to train the athlete to use visualization and feelings during these visual acts, to act as if, or to experience the things before they happen. People like Michael Jordan, people like Cristiano Ronaldo, people like those successful athletes use things like visualization, like mental rehearsal to do that. And in this book, Dr. Joe Dispenza gives you an idea of how people imagined themselves doing bicep curls, imagined themselves only, mental activity only, and feeling it to be true. And they increased the size of the muscle by 13%. The mind doesn't know the difference between what is happening in this hologram that we are living in and in our thought alone, in our minds. Think about that. You are always reacting to the things around you. You're giving it meaning, and this is one of the mistakes. You can't change an effect by changing an effect. This is one of the things. We all know that we become what we think about most of the time. And by thinking here, I mean the pattern within yourself. How do you think? How do you act? How do you feel? Because thoughts will lead to emotions. Emotions will lead to frequency. Frequency will put you in a reality. That reality, you will act in a certain way. It all comes down to what do you consent to be true about yourself and about your world. If you see yourself as somebody who is capable, who is worthy of receiving, who is always having things that they desire, then you will be that person. This is why mantras and things like things are always working out for me, even if you don't believe in it in the beginning. Say it enough times, you will find yourself actually believing in it. The subconscious mind responds to repetition and to emotion and feeling. What you feel and consent to be true, you will be experiencing. This is why things like the media, when you see things over and over and over again, you start to believe it. And at the same time, things like maybe a happy experience or To the contrary, a traumatic experience. You experience that once, the emotional charge in it just changed the trajectory of your life. So you can use both. And this is why teachings like the teachings of the great mystic Neville Goddard is so important, because he taught you that you can imagine the things that you want and immerse yourself in the feeling of the wish fulfilled and repeat it, loop it until you fall asleep. It's kind of a hypnotherapy in a way, but you are doing it to your own benefit. So you are using it on yourself, not to control people, not to make anything bad. You're not doing anything bad by doing that. You are doing good by teaching your body emotionally how would it be like to experience those things. I want you to think about it right now and tell me down below in the comments how many times, for example, you argued with somebody and just a few minutes when you meet him, you feel like there is a tension between you and him. He says something or you say something that goes left and all of a sudden you're just arguing in real life. Tell me about that. It happened to you. I know about that. I'm telling you. Because we are all connected, and this is why you will find people like Joseph Murphy and Neville Goddard are telling you that the universe is you pushed out. There is no one to change but self. Why? Because on a higher level, on a higher dimension, at some point, all of us were just oneness, connected at some point. And this is what the experiment of quantum entanglement is. They get something like two atoms, for example. Once they were connected, then they separated. They do something to this, and at the same exact time, no lag time, at the same time, the other atom or the other photon or whatever, it would just react the same as the one that they did something to it. This explains why when you see yourself differently, everything around you will just reflect that. When you look at the world differently, the world around you will change. The only real change comes from inside. I love this. I love this quote by J. Cole. The only real change comes from inside. Not from the outside world, but from the inside. And this brings me to one of the Hermetic principles, and that is the law of correspondence. You don't need to watch manifestation videos every day. You don't need to do any of that. You need to just understand what I'm about to tell you. This alone can save you a lot of time. This alone can make you set goals and achieve them. This alone can make you know what is it that you believe about yourself. What is your belief about yourself, about your life, about your world? And let me tell you something. Change in the beginning can be hard. I'm not putting any labels on it, but if you feel uncomfortable in the beginning, don't panic. It's just like something you are learning. When you are a toddler, you are trying to walk. Don't be in panic mode. Just give it time if you find yourself having difficulty. So the idea of circumstances don't matter, only your state of being matters. So I wrote here many things that I will read to you guys. So circumstances don't matter, only your state of being matters. As within, so without, as above, so below. And that is the law of correspondence in the Hermetic teachings, in the Kabbalion. The Emerald Tablets said the same thing. That which is above is similar to that which is below, and that which is below is similar to that which is above, and that which is within is similar to that which is without, and that which is without is similar to that which is within. So, when you see in the Bible, for example, in earth as it is in heaven, when you see in the Quran, God doesn't change the circumstances of people unless they change what's within themselves. Neville Goddard is telling you the universe is you pushed out. In every single doctrine or religion, you will find that they're telling you, you need to change yourself. You need to go within. You need to see what is your belief. You need to see where is that problem. And hey, I'm here to tell you, you don't even know to know. You don't even need to know what is the problem. You can just override it with a new state of being. And this is what Dr. Joe Dispenza is talking about. You sit and ask yourself, what is it that I desire? What is the best version of me? How does it look? Is he like fit and muscular, or is he a bit overweight? Ask yourself all these questions. See the best version of yourself. Write it down. Write down in detail What is it that you want? What is your ideal self? Don't be afraid and don't be ashamed, and don't think that there are limits. Just write it out. Write every single detail about that person. Who is the person that you are with? Where is your house or houses? What is your car? What is your job? Do you work for yourself or for somebody else? In a big corporation, or you have your own business? Ask yourself all these questions. Do you have a certain degree, or you're just doing things your way? Ask yourself all these questions. And then, after that, you are now having a clear vision of what you want to be, or in fact, what you are in a parallel universe to this one. You have all these details in that vision. And you know, the next thing you need to do is say, all right, now I have a clear vision and a clear intention about what I want. Now let's take it a step further. Ask yourself this simple question. If I have all these things right now, and I'm already in possession of all of this is mine right now. What is my feeling state? How do I feel? One of the most common feelings is the feeling of peace and the feeling of gratitude. These two feelings are common in almost every single desire the human being will want or will need to have or anything like that. Why? Because when you get the thing that you want, most of the time you'll feel like you are in awe, you are at peace, you are calm. So let's reverse engineer that. We start by going to the end. This is why I reference Neville Goddard a lot, because he simplified this thing that is called the law of vibration, law of attraction, law of assumption, whatever you might call it. I don't care about the labels. All I care about it is a universal law. So he told you to go to the end, and the end is where you begin. How's that? The end result of an experience is an emotion. You want this car because it will give you a certain emotion. You want this girl because she will give you a certain emotion. You want this house because that will give you a certain emotion and feeling. Emotion is energy in motion. When emotions compound, they give you a vibration, a state of being. It becomes a feeling of peace, of calmness, that it is yours. This is how it works. This is why it's so important to watch out. If the universe is triggering you, it's most likely the old you just playing tricks on you. You just need to be aware of that. And I told you about it right now. So most probably you'll be aware of it. So now you don't have to worry. And I told you about the story that one of my friends got his desired reality without knowing about manifestation and all that. He just knew about it, but in a way that is not so modern like we're talking about right now. He intuitively knew that. He just said to me, every single day, I find one thing to be grateful for. One thing to be grateful for. That was in late 2021. And all of a sudden, his life started to shift because every single day, he is looking for things to be grateful for. And all of a sudden, he got his job. And then he left that job and got a better one. And then he moved out of his city and went to a new city, went to the capital. And then he started a new job. And then he got a new car. And then he got another car. And then he got another car. He is now in a state of gratitude. This is the state that sometimes most of us, due to the comparison with everybody else on social media, will feel like we are entrapped in wanting and needing and needing. There is nothing wrong with wanting things, but when you want something, know that you already have it and see how would you react, how would you feel. This is why, for example, in the Bible, if we're talking religiously here, you would find verses. I didn't read the Bible, I just got a few verses of it. That is, whenever you pray for something, believe that you have already received it and it shall be given to you. And in other verse, it goes like this: seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and righteousness and all these other things shall be added unto you. And when you see the kingdom of heaven, it's the idea of being in a state of peace, of calm, of gratitude. being happy, being in a higher frequency. This is why this consciousness map by Dr. David Hawkins is so important. When you are in a state of enlightenment, enlightenment is just being yourself. When you forgive yourself from all the past mistakes, and you know that you did that because it was something that you need to go through, and it made you learn something about yourself. And you can change the past anyway by changing the outcome, the feeling of it. You are changing the experience when you know that you forgive yourself for the past mistakes, and then you become yourself. You become authentic. You accept what you have done. This is one of the feelings of acceptance about everything in life. You'll find yourself accelerating in a very fast manner. This is why they tell you that for decades nothing happens, and in months, in few months, decades happen. This is one of the best analogies that I ever heard about. When you have this mindset, when you have this idea that whatever happens, it is just working out for me, and you embody a state which is probably a state of gratitude all the time. Dr. Joe Dispenza talked about that. Like, he made people be in gratitude for 10 minutes or 15 minutes 3 times a day. And the immunoglobulin A, which is your body's natural flu shot, was up in 4 days by 50%, I guess. This is how powerful you are. This is how powerful your body is. You know, when you are performing from your I amness, from the true you, the essence, the divine spark within you, this spark can make miracles. So imagine you are becoming in resonance again with your true self, with the Creator, with all that is. And you are giving a clear intention, an elevated emotion. You are giving it to that intelligence as if it is done. And then you are giving it in thanksgiving, like, thank you for showing me that this is done. Thank you that I have this and that. And you are in that state of gratitude. And then you will find yourself sometimes waking up every single day under compulsion to do certain tasks, to meet certain people, to make certain calls, to go certain places. All these things can be done when you know that when you change internally, the outer world will change. As I told you, the only real change comes from inside. The inside is all what you need to focus on, because the inside will be reflected on the outside. This world around us is just a mirror. When you smile, it will smile back. You cannot be frowning at it and then, like, you know what, I'm sick of that. I'm gonna fight the mirror. Good luck. You need to change. You need to smile first, and the mirror will smile back. And let me tell you something. When you first begin, you'll find that, hey, nothing's happening. No, there are a lot of things that are happening. You're just getting used to the idea of you smiling, and the old frequency is just sending you echoes from the past. One more time to keep you stuck. One more time. And let me tell you something. When you know that these are just echoes, and everything is about to change, and everything has already changed once you decided, then you will know that circumstances don't matter, and only your state of being matters. Your state of being is all that matters. And let me tell you another thing. It doesn't matter how old are you, whether you are 10, 7, 70, 80, 90, you can change in this very moment. Don't want you to be sad. When you experience something negative, observe it, don't entertain it, go back within, revise it. No, this is happening for my own good. Everything is working out for you, because if we're being real, really everything is working out for you, whether you feel it or not. Everything, and I mean everything, is working out for you perfectly. So don't let your analytical mind, the left brain hemisphere, tells you that you need to do this, this, and this is not working and all that. Let me tell you something about the brain hemispheres. The left brain hemisphere is the analytical mind that is giving you the sense of linear time. That it has to be some kind of logic for things, right? This is what is keeping you stuck most of the time, because most of the humanity is now maybe 100% analytical. The right brain hemisphere, or the intellect of the heart, that name was given by the Egyptians. And since an advanced student of biogeometry, an advanced graduate of biogeometry. I know about the intellect of the heart. I know that when you shift your perspective to the right brain, the holistic you, the real you, the you that is connected to everything, the divine spark within you, you will find out that linear time is an illusion just to make sense of the world. Left, right, up, down, before, after. This is the analytical mind. To the right brain, everything is here and now. All possible scenarios are here and now. In the left brain, we are dealing with cause and effect. To the right brain, we are dealing with resonance, universal resonance. When we are in resonance with something, we will be in resonance with all its similar frequencies, with all the similar qualities of that frequency, from 0 to infinity, because every frequency or every octave will be in resonance with similar frequencies or half of its wavelength and double its wavelength. So if you think about it, you'll be in resonance with the similar quality of the same frequency from 0 to infinity. So all of a sudden, when you focus on the good thing, when you entertain good things in your life, when you embody a state of a good person, I don't care what anybody is telling you. This is something that is so esoteric, people don't talk about it. When you are in that state for long enough, believe me, all of a sudden, you will find out that it is raining on you blessings. Like blessings is just coming to your life. It just needs one thing, and that is staying in resonance with that. This is why to the right brain, you can be in many places at the same time. We cannot conceive that until we just break away from the analytical mind, and sometimes people don't experience that until they are in a near-death experience. They tell you that, hey, everything is here now. This is a play. We can choose. They always tell you the same thing over and over and over again. This is a play. This is a simulation. This is a matrix. This is not some cliche thing to do. It really is. It just is. And when you know about that, it will be easier for you to grasp the idea in your mind. The idea of being a multidimensional being. And the right brain hemisphere, the right brain perspective, imagine that this is life, for example. There are many different scenarios. To the left brain, it's analytical. This page is followed by this page, is followed by this page. To the right brain, we just got all the pages and we threw them in front of you. And when you are in resonance with an experience, you gather maybe 2 or 3 pages and you stack them together, and all of a sudden you have what you want. When you work with this intelligence, you will find out that anything that you will ever want already exists. And this is why the idea of parallel universes is a fact that every single day quantum physics in the electromagnetic universe is telling you that it exists. But intuitively, we know that it exists. To the ancients, they knew that it exists. They knew. This is why they performed miracles, because they understood the science behind it. They understood that when you embody a state and then you give it to the higher self, the higher being, to God, to Allah, to the universe, whatever you might call it, if there is a certain religion or doctrine that you are following and it's giving you the inner peace, then stay with it. I'm not going to be like these spiritual people that are telling you, oh, you don't need to follow this or follow that. If something that you are following is benefiting you, then I would be stupid to tell you, oh, don't follow that. If it is benefiting you, keep doing it. Don't listen to anybody that is telling you you need to be a solo, have a cult of personality kind of thing. No. If there is a way to connect you to the divine, then follow that way, whether that be through the Abrahamic religions or any other religion or doctrine. All you have to do is see what works for you. If being in a cult of personality kind of thing is working out for you, then perfect. I'm not putting any limiting beliefs on you. I'm just telling you how it is. And how it is there is a divine spark, divine light within every single one of us. And the truth is that light. And all these doctrines and religions are trying to get to that light with certain belief systems, with cultural appropriations, with all of that. But the truth is still the truth. Whether you go from this way, from that way, from that way, everything or all the roads lead to Rome, as they say. So I want you to think about that. I don't want you to get into analysis paralysis. I want you to change what's inside of you. Maybe you would like to meditate. Maybe you would like to visualize. Maybe you would like to affirm to yourself all of these work. When you say that this is my way of doing things and you stick to it, then perfect. Because these days you will find people are trying to make you feel bad for actually following a certain technique or anything like that. You can follow whatever you want. As I'm telling you, things like mental rehearsal, this is a technique. This is a visualization tactic that you can use, and it's giving you results in real time. Like, this is something like purely medical, and it works. If it is working for you, it doesn't matter what any other guru or teacher or whatever is telling you. Know about that. Contemplate about what I just said to you. Set your goals. Get your mind right. Feel as if it is happening. Surrender completely to the universal mind in the knowing, in the thanksgiving that it is done. And go and follow your intuition and take the right action by your intuition. When you have this feeling like, hey, I want to go out at this time, you go out. I want to shoot this video, you shoot it. I want to launch this business, you launch it. Listen to the intuition that you will be given, because you will have a lot of moments that you will feel like, damn, I feel like I need to do this. You do it. You do it. This is your inner guidance. Intuition means inner guidance anyway. So this is what you need to do. And don't let anybody tell you that it's complicated and it's this and it's that. Focus on your health. Focus on your mental health, your physical health. Do what is necessary. If you need to go for a walk, then go for a walk. Walk in nature. Have fun. Treat this life like a game, because it is. There is a book that is called The Game of Life and How to Play It. We've been programmed so hard that it has to be difficult or anything like that. No. This is why reprogramming the subconscious mind is so important. And this is why when you guys asked me about techniques and whatnot, I actually made my ebook. You can check it in the link in the description box. You got all the techniques. So now you got no excuses but to change your life. Because when you change internally, your life will change. And have fun. Go for that vacation. Have faith. Faith is knowing. Faith is confidence in knowing. It's not kind of knowing, it's knowing. Have that faith. Train your faith. And believe me, everything around you will be reflective to what you feel inside of you. So feel good most of the time. I know it's not practical to feel good all the time, but try as much as possible to feel good. And if you find anything that is not compatible with your vision, just look at it from far away. Don't entertain it. Observe it and just choose to be what you would like to be. That's it. That's it for today's video. This is your message for today. You needed to hear that. And I know you got something out of it. Done.